Hi everybody. Super long time since I posted a video here, and it's only taken me this long, it's probably 3.5 years, to actually get around to trying to do a tutorial on one of the songs I posted before, New Speedway Boogie. So I've gotten a decent amount of views and comments, and I'm not really interested in amassing stats and things like that, but it is kind of cool to know that people are looking. And some of the comments on some of the videos I've made prior, asked for a tutorial on New Speedway Boogie, and I thought, someday I'll do that. Someday I'll do that, and here we are. So, in what might be the first of several videos of tutorial in this, what I want to do is kind of set the expectation. I'm not trying to teach a part here. A lot of these Grateful Dead songs that I play started with me trying to learn them on acoustic guitar, which for me always starts with just chords, not Bob's inversions or Jerry's leads or Keith's counterpoint and Phil's classical one, whatever it is. Like, I'm not trying to learn parts. What I've tried to do in these songs, honestly, was it was a project for me to try to have a songbook together with real pages to be able to play music on the acoustic and sing songs for when my son was born. So I didn't want to have to open a laptop and have songs there, so I made this songbook with hundreds of songs in it and whatnot. Anyway, I digress. So the idea was just to play songs. So New Speedway Boogie, for me, tons of parts, tons of layers. It's a fantastic song, I love it. But as a one-man acoustic player here, there's just a couple parts that I really, in my own mind, emphasize. Okay, but I want to remind everyone, I'm not teaching a part that anyone played on the record or anything like that. So the way I approach this song, it's the lick is super heavy and central. So that's my own interpretation of it. It's probably not note for note, but that general feeling is, take that and do what you want with it. I'll walk through in more detail as we go. But so that's the central theme that says, hey, this is New Speedway Boogie. The other thing that's super central to me, sorry, everything is super something today, the right hand. And I do a lot of palm muting, just in my playing in general, just in terms of, a super sweet riff that I did there, but my natural inclination is to rest my palm here and do a lot of palm muting. So with this, the combination of palm muting and the rhythm is just relentless. The whole song doesn't stop. So keep those two things in mind, the central foundation of the main lick or riff, and then the right hand just chugging away. Okay, on top of that, or I guess underneath that, there's three parts. There's the main riff, there's the verse, and then there's what I call the walk down, which is kind of the end of the verse into what would be a chorus. But essentially the song itself is kind of verse, 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 but the end of the verse, or what could be called the chorus, is different every time in terms of the lyrics, so it's not something to come back to. They have a refrain at the end that's one way or another the darkness has got to give, which I more consider the chorus. But I digress. I'm going to focus on three parts of the song and we'll put it all together. But the first part when we talk about is the main riff, and I'm a big fan of open strings, especially. And I said I wouldn't get into parts, but Jerry does a lot of the, not necessarily that, but he does a lot of these little phrases that link open chords together. So when I'm thinking of this song, New Speedway, it's E. So your E major chord, and the main riff is an open E, and then the open A string, first fret, second fret, just a walk up, and then back to the sixth string. So that's the very first half of it. So at some point, if you're needing to practice this, just sit there and do that over and over again. And when you're ready, so that second part is just the open D string. So I do this a lot too. I'll say, I'm not playing anything, it's just the open D string, the fourth string. And I think that's why I use palm muting a lot on this, because it's open strings for me, anyway, the way I'm playing it. So if I didn't do that, it would be, which I don't want it to be. I want it. So altogether, it's open 6th string, open A string, 1st, 2nd fret, roll up, open 6th string, and then you jump to the second half, which is the open 4th string, the D, to the 2nd fret, which is the E, and then you start the whole thing over again. So you can play that on loop as long as you want until you get it, until you feel comfortable with it. Again, it's a nice little tight riff, and you can work it into the rhythm. So I'm playing the E chord, which brings us to the second part, the verses. So essentially, when we're thinking about this, the main kind of theme, tonally, in these chords is E and D, which we see from the second half of that lead riff. So if I was to play this exaggeratedly open, it would be E, D, to E. Wait. But that doesn't sound the way I want it to sound, so what I do, I take the open E, and again, making sure I'm only playing these kind of first 3 strings, I just take these 2 fingers off. So it's the open A and the open D string. That just takes the E and makes it a D, but it ceases to do that if you're playing too many strings. So kind of the same palm muted attack. It's and you don't need that riff. The important part is that right hand, and that's where please don't dominate the rap check if you got nothing new to say, and also please don't back up these tracks, this train's got to run today. And you can see I'm not even doing it perfectly, but the idea, again, I'm not trying to get anything perfect. I'm not a stickler for that, and I'm frankly not good enough to do that, but fortunately I don't care. So the important part is that kind of vamp, which makes me embarrassed to say words like that, but between E and D, that's all that main theme is, and it's the chugging rhythm of the right hand that's got to be driving the whole thing, because you can kind of make mistakes over here while you're singing, which is a tough skill to get the rhythm and the playing and the singing all together. It's okay, you don't have to get it perfect. If you get the idea across and you're singing the right words, it all comes across. So that's all it is. There is that one part where it says, I spent a little time on the mountain, which is a great thing to come back to. It's almost the chorus. It's the refrain in every verse that is the same. So all that is an E at the pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, the B string. So an E9, I guess. I don't know. I could be wrong. It could be a 7/9. Could be a flat 12th. I don't know. I think it's a 9. But it's. I spent a little time on the mountain. Spent a little time on the hill. And it's right back to that. So it's only variation, but it's really. It's another part of the essence of the song that when you hit it, it's like, oh, this song, I love this song, right? So, and if you're playing in front of people or, you know, with friends, everybody wants to sing that part. So everyone's got it. So the only other part, so far we have the main riff. Right into the verses part, which is just the chugging rhythm. And then in the second half or the back half of every verse, there's what could be a chorus, I'm not sure what we call it, but it does do what I refer to as the walk down. And if we're kind of home, the home base here is E. So it's the change here is G. And again, not verified. Someone could please post a comment if you're like, that's not how you play it. I would love to know how other people play this. This is just how I get through it, and I've internalized it, and this is how I play it every time. So we're home in E. The walk down is G. But again, you're not like a G. It's kind of like you're still doing that chugging thing. So it's a G. I leave the top half, the pinky and 3rd ring finger, where it is in the G chord, and I just walk down from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret, so I'm hitting the F sharp, and then up to the A, and then releasing that bar chord. So just like we were doing the E to the D, we're doing the A to the G. So altogether, that walk down is, it's a, I don't know, but I've been told it's hard to run with the weight of gold. On the other hand, I heard it said it's just as hard with the weight of lead. Through. So if we just slow that down for a second, I don't know if we need to, but so we're sitting on that main verse part, and then the walk down is, I don't know, but I've been told the G, F sharp, and the A. On the other hand, I heard it said it's G, F sharp, and the A to G. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll throw in that little slide. It's a little nuance that is easy to do. If you're comfortable doing the A chord as a bar chord, I do it in Black Peter too. I mean, it's kind of a part of Black Peter that you have to know, but which will be another tutorial maybe, but you'll notice I do the same thing at the beginning of that walk down. I kind of go, it's hard to run with the weight of gold. On the other hand, I heard it said, and I slide into it. So I kind of slide into it. I mean, the whole song is kind of slippery train rhythm, right? So it's everything is just going, you find your way, you end up on the right track. But it is nice to have that looseness, especially because when you consider all the different parts of the song that we're not playing, having that little looseness about it even alludes to the looseness of the band or the interweaving parts that we're only imagining or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'll play a verse and then the end outro, which we haven't talked about, and I'll talk about in a second, but just to put it all together, because of course the outro part after the last walk down, it's one way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness has got to give. And that's just the verse again. So that's why I think this song is completely approachable, as long as you're trying to get the essence of that song across. So I'm going to play, let's do the last verse. You can't overlook the lack jack, all the way through that last outro, and we'll just put those three pieces together. Right, so it's the main riff, into the verses, to the walk down, right back to that. The main riff lead into the outro verse pattern. So we'll do that, we'll put it all together, and of course, if you have any comments or questions or jokes or tips, maps, recipes, anything you want to share, go ahead in comments below, including if you hate this. Thanks for watching. You can't overlook the blackjack of any other highway to ride. It's got no signs or dividing lines and very few rules to guide. I spend a little time on the mountains, spend a little time on the hill. I saw things getting out of hand, I guess they always will. Now I don't know, but I've been told if the horse don't pull, you got to carry the load. Now I don't know whose back's that strong, but I guess I'll find out before too long. Way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness has got to give. One way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness has got to give. And you can see even that last, I'm not getting the rhythm right. I can do it so much better when I'm not singing. Going between the E and the D, but as long as this right hand is still going, or left if you're a lefty. No one's focused on your hands right now. You don't even have to do the D. One way or another, one way or another. Or you could do the E9, or the whatever chord I don't know the name of, by adding your pinky for the spend a little time on the mountain. That's a D. That note right there is a D. So instead of, if you're not comfortable doing, like I'm not comfortable, you could throw in the one way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness has got to give. I think that's my first tutorial. It was made specifically for someone who commented on it. I'm going to reply to your comment on the initial version. I'll also link to the initial cover version in the description below. I've learned all these phrases by watching YouTube, so I have to do all these things if I'm going to do a tutorial, right? And I don't know, let me know if you want any other tutorials. You can go back to my channel and look at other covers I've done if you want. But you can also just watch those and be like, oh, I know what he's doing. But if you can't, you can be like, show me what you're doing. And I'll try. All right, thank you. Bye.